Welcome to the Costly Distinct Podcast. This is your boy DJ KO.
K Jack is in the building, even if you can't hear me.
We're having complications earlier today, but it's all good. Welcome to the show, first and foremost. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to the show. Thank you guys, whoever subscribed to the show. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. As you can see, we're in a new location. We're no longer at the destinations. I wanted to give a shout out to everybody that gave us the opportunity to shoot our show there. Everybody that sponsor, the food, the alcohol. I thank you guys for that. I appreciate that. So today we have a special show today. Today is special because we're going to talk about what a lot of us in the black community don't talk about, and that's business. Business and how to make money, how to keep that money coming in, how to get what we call generational wealth income and continue and keep it coming in.
Residual income.
You know what I'm saying? So today we have two guests. So I'm gonna introduce them briefly, and I want you guys to briefly introduce yourselves. All right. So the first person that we have today is Mr. Mike Morris on the show. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. I see applause.
So we just gonna skip over ladies being first.
So the second person we have today, you say the best for last, Zarina.
Oh,
right.
you clean
You
that
dig what
up.
I'm saying? You gotta know how to do it. You dig what I'm saying? So the
Don't
second
try to
person,
help him, Mike. Don't try to help him.
second person that we have on the show today is Miss Zarina Whitfield. Welcome.
Thank you. It's actually Mattie.
Mattie. Oh, I forgot.
I like Mattie.
Mattie. I forgot about
With
Mattie.
T or D?
TT.
I'm going to say Mattie.
I like Mattie.
You can still say Zarina, but
Mattie.
the whole
I
name.
like Mattie.
Mattie, get in the house now.
Get that lady
Get in the
name
house,
right.
Mattie.
I like that.
Southern, ain't it? From Chicago.
Girl, from Chicago with a name like Mattie.
With a name like Mattie.
Mattie.
Yes.
Wow.
You have some
That's
southern
good.
roots. That's what that is. Your grandmother was from the
That-
South.
She could have kept that.
That's got a story to it. I like that. I like that.
Zarina, would you a brief description about, yourself and what you do?
I don't do anything. What are you talking about?
Come on.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
I just live.
Hey.
That's it.
That's the best life.
That's the best life.
Supposed to.
So what do? I sell drugs for a living.
Yes.
Come on.
So marijuana,
Okay.
CBD,
Dope.
all of that wonderful stuff.
The
Okay.
real queen of the South.
The real queen of the South.
Okay, that's dope.
And I help people with their pain. I alleviate pain with my products. We have a spa line, we have a wellness line, and we actually have an athletic line.
Okay.
And then I have a women's organization called Global Women of Wealth, where we are made to collaborate versus compete.
Okay.
And it's women of all different cultures, all different colors, getting together and making something amazing.
That's dope. Dope.
I need an application.
I like that. Collaborate and not conflict. How was it?
Not compete.
Not compete.
Too much money out here. We don't have to compete.
Absolutely. Hey, that's an A. We gotta get into
right.
that. Welcome to the
like
show.
it.
Welcome to the show,
Thank you.
Zarina.
Thank you for having me.
Next, Mike.
Yeah, we're gonna talk with that
You're not a lady, Mike.
CBD. Come on now. Collaborate. Don't
Collaborate.
compete.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, just to go back in, we actually help people build brands.
Okay, let's talk about it. All right, all
Okay.
right. We got the gummies going.
gummies.
You can have
See, I
one.
like already.
Just go ahead and take one on camera. Man. It's
Come
all
on,
right.
Mike. Let's go. Pass. Sharing is caring, Mike.
So
Pass
look,
to the left.
as you taking one, you gotta explain what you do. What you doing, Mike?
With the CBD.
You have to
No,
talk about
with
yourself.
your
Who are
business.
you?
You got
what
CBD
I'm
on his
doing.
mind, right?
Right now, I'm trying to get this feeling.
Yeah, so I'm in various industries. I'm in the oil and gas. I own an oil and gas firm,
Earl.
Okay.
and we do renewable energies mostly in West Africa. Build gas and liquid plants, modular refineries. Also in the healthcare industry. Well, our firm does non-emergency medical transportation and home care,
Okay.
and also e-commerce. So whatever I see opportunities, I jump in. So I'm not put in a one box on what I could do.
Clearly, you got 4 or 5 businesses going right there.
Well,
Like it.
So I want to ask you guys this, starting off, business. What gave you guys the first business sense? Like, when you're coming up as a young person, we're not really taught business. We're taught how to work a job for 30 years, right? And once you work that job for 30 years, you retire with your 401k, your thrift savings, and you retire and you leave nothing for your kids.
Yep.
So what you starting with you, Zarina?
Well, just exactly what you said. I saw my mother, love her, worked very hard for the post office. I think she had been there about 20, 25 years.
Okay.
And she would get up, she would go to work, and she'd come home and she's tired, she's sleepy, she don't want to do anything. And it was just a routine. It was every day. And to me, there was no fun in that whatsoever. And I'm one of those people, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And that made me, I think when I was going to work in Chicago, because that made me say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to work downtown, and I'm working in an office building and all that good stuff. So on my way to work downtown on the bus, I saw people paying on a golf course. And it was like, okay, what do they do? They get to be on a golf course in the morning and they don't have to go to work.
Yep.
They're not on their way to work.
They're not on their way to work.
They're going to the golf
I
course.
need to find out what they do.
What they doing.
And that was when I decided that I'm not going to work. I'm going to be able to go to the golf course in the middle of the day.
Nice. What about you, Mike?
What I was fortunate. My dad, he was also a business person. He was also an entrepreneur, and I got to move that closer.
You good? You good?
And he contracted with federal governments, and he built like dams, and he was into everything. So I would see what he was doing, and I just thought he was the coolest dude ever. And
Shout out, Daddy.
yeah, and he always taught me these little things. I'm Nigerian, by the way, so it's different over there. That's
Very.
like
Igbo and Yoruba.
Igbo.
Okay.
So that's more default, really.
Yes.
Right. You got to be
Your work
successful.
ethic.
Your not work ethic.
Business.
Every African really is.
That's what I'm saying.
Black
It's
people,
by
yeah.
default.
Right.
Yeah.
But the business side to it
Right.
is, especially the Igbos, they go an apprentice for somebody, and the guy
Absorb.
they work for, they teaches them everything, and then gives them some money to go start whatever they're doing. That's like default.
Okay.
So, watching my dad, he's extremely smart, extremely intelligent dude, and taught me a lot of lessons as far as how to do business, how to grow wealth, and I learned a lot of lessons because he lost a lot of his wealth and was able to regain it and lose it again. So there's lessons that even in that he teaches you
Okay.
on how to keep, because the main thing is not the easiest part is getting the wealth,
But you got to keep it.
is keeping it and
Yes.
growing it. That's the difficult part, and that's something they don't teach here in school.
At all.
And
That's
there's a reason
experience.
for it.
Yeah.
So when you say he lost it, got it back, he
Oh, that's
lost it
experience.
again. So the message in that is people don't realize you can't give up.
Oh, you can't.
Because a lot of people want to give up. You lose it once, it's like
It's
they,
easy.
They're
It's
going to
easy.
just fall out and it's over.
Once you get your mind to it, especially in this environment, in this day and age, it's easy to make money.
Right.
That's not the problem.
Right. It's the mindset.
Keeping that money
Is the thing.
Yes.
And scaling that money.
and scaling that
Yes.
money is where
Yes.
it becomes difficult.
So let me ask you guys that, because that might win over somebody's head, because they think, okay, well,
did. A
I
lot
want to
of
be a millionaire.
Right.
Okay, you obtain $1 million, right?
Which is no
in
money.
your
Which
business,
is
you
no
obtain $1
money.
million.
Which is no money at all.
Once you-
That's Adam's favorite number to throw out.
I'm just
there,
giving a
$1 million.
rational number. What
Well,
somebody
it's
that's
actually-
achievable, you know.
Right.
It's actually a lot of people's favorite number.
It's
They
achievable.
think when
Nothing.
they make $1 million, like I made it. No,
Right.
you
Because
have
$1 million
not.
won't even classify you as a millionaire in Forbes.
But it's achievable mentally.
Right. That's because
If I say,
Right,
you're gonna,
right.
I'm gonna make $10 million. That's in your mind.
It's an
even though it's
achievable
achievable,
goal.
but
Right.
for somebody that's young coming out of
Right.
college or whatever, I want to be a millionaire.
Right.
It sounds good. So, damn, I lost my question. What's wrong with you, Kaya?
You were talking about scaling.
Oh yeah,
and
scaling.
keeping.
So look, now in doing that, because like Mike said,
Women's
it's not making the million. How do you keep that million, and how do you manage that million to make?
And grow that million.
And
Grow
grow
a
it.
million.
Yes.
Right.
So that's the question. How you guys?
So with everything, you need a plan.
Okay.
It's like how when I get this money, what do I do with it?
Right.
It's like people who come to me and say, "Hey, I want you to teach me how to invest in stocks and whatnot." When you invest in stock, that's a good analogy. You go in before you buy a stock. You're supposed to know what price you're going to pay for that stock,
Okay.
and you're supposed to know when you're exiting that stock.
Okay.
When you start a business, before you start the business, you should know what your exiting strategy is.
Come on.
Are you going to sell? Are you going to IPO?
Hold up, you're going too fast, Mike. You're going too fast. Now, but what
So-
you're saying is viable. But so you're saying, So before you go into a business, you got to know the end product before you
Right.
even start.
Your
Correct.
exit strategy.
You gotta have an
your
exit.
exit strategy.
Okay.
Because you might be starting a business that's outdated. It's like me. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine wanted me to go in with him on a dealership.
Okay.
Of what?
Cars.
Car dealer. Yes.
Why?
So I have car. I have a car. I have a car background. That's my
Right.
point.
Right.
And I told him, look, what's your exit? What do you plan on doing? He's like, well, but I'm like, that's not a good plan.
What you gonna
because-
do with that?
Not that it's a bad idea because
Right.
It's aged.
it's not only is it age, he's looking at it from a point of view. He's black, he's minority, so it's good.
Okay.
That would be great 10 years ago. If he's tried to open a dealership and he's black, he's minority, he wouldn't have to put up $5 million. He could just come up with $250,000. He'd come with a less amount, depending on the captive, whether it's Ford or whatever, and he could open that. But that's all great. He's looking at just that. What I then tell him, okay, you open up a car dealership, you may be doing well the first few years, but you got guys like Tesla that are taking over. You have electric vehicles that are taking over. You have
vehicles
autonomous
being
vehicles.
delivered.
Yeah,
Carvana.
being
Right.
delivered.
Right.
Right.
So
CarMax.
at
Yes.
some point you might be forced out, which is not that's an exit plan, but it's not the plan that
You good?
you decide to go with. That's forced on you. You hear that?
Now,
No, that was me. That was
even
me.
with that, when people think about getting a business,
Mm-hmm.
I think when people want to go into business, they go into it with, oh, I have this great idea. Your idea is not new.
It's not a
More
right.
than likely,
Right.
there are a ton of people out here that do what you want to
you're
do.
doing.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to start a new business. Go find a business
Don't
that's
reinvent
dying.
the wheel. Right.
Partner
Right.
with that person.
All right.
Bring value to that business, and then take it over. They don't want it anyway.
I was reading
It's
about that
dying.
today. It's saying for his a wealthy guy, he was saying something to the degree of instead of starting your own business or buying a business, he's like buy another business, buy a business that's kind of
That's dying.
dying out.
Like literally, businesses for sale is a actual website.
Okay.
Where you can go on and look at all of these people who have all of these businesses, from restaurants to traditional businesses, whatever your idea is, more than likely somebody's selling it.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can strike some
Yeah.
deal with them and bring value to it. Hey, I know you want to sell your business, even if you didn't have the money. I know you want to sell your business, get in, market it, and then you get to kind of test it out and see if you even like it before you put all the money into it. But I don't think we need more businesses.
You
because
don't.
it's a lot of businesses that are failing
Right.
every single year.
Make that one go.
Royce the 5'9", he said something. He said, "Why be a owner of 100% of nothing?"
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and what she said is true. M&A is mergers or acquisition, and you could actually buy a business that's distressed. So it's just like buying a house, and the best way is to go to the owner first, because the owner might just be, "Hey, I'm out, I'm done, I'm tapped out." Versus, I would do that first before going to a broker, like a business to a website, because then there's actually brokers involved, and then they know how to do the multiple, and then you're usually buying more. So it's good to go to the owner and just talk to them and say, "Hey, can we partner up?" Or,
Because I know someone who has apartment complexes, houses, all these things. And funny part about it is they obtained all of those from people going through like divorces and
Yeah.
things like that. They need to get rid of. Oh, I'll
Buy
take
cheap.
that off of you. Cars, jewelry, houses. Oh, you got to get rid of that. You don't want to take that to court.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of it before she takes it. I take it for her to give
Yeah.
them an amount.
and
Willing
they
to get rid of it.
and that's a big business.
Yep.
That's about to in Silicon Valley,
Yep.
where you have these companies that are figuring ways, like a Open Door. This is a company. It's a multi-billion-dollar company now, and all they do is, you want to sell your house, you go to the app or the website, and they give you money ASAP.
Yep.
Okay.
So
It's like we buy houses.
Because people
Yeah.
people make cash offers for houses and they want them right
and they
then.
wanted that because they know, if they know the market, they know what the value is. They can go
Right.
and,
Right.
and flip it and sell it.
So I got a question for you, Mike. Now, I know you said earlier that you was using the dealership, using cars.
Yeah.
And you was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And when I say a lot of money, I don't want to put your money
No, it's
out
a-
because tax purposes and stuff like that. But he was making well over 200,000.
Oh yeah.
Well over.
I mean,
So the average person making that kind of money, black, making that kind of money per year, they're not quitting that job. But you decided to quit that job.
No, they're not gonna quit.
On average,
Right.
I was really good at what I do, but you don't have to. And the reason why I quit is because of the time. People say I'm lazy. I'm not lazy. I always look for, even when I'm hiring people, I look for the laziest person because, quote unquote, lazy. They're gonna find the easiest and the most efficient way to do.
They're gonna get it done.
Get it done.
So they can be done.
But not hard.
Right. Not hard.
Yeah.
And that was just taking too much time, and it became boring because I was spending so much time doing the same tasks over and over again. It was automatic. So whenever it was boring. Whenever you hit that wall, you got to get out.
Right. Yeah.
I don't care how much money you're making. You get out because that means you could do the same thing, and you could scale. And same thing with business. Once you hit that wall, your revenue's hitting the wall.
Right.
And that means you got to switch something up. You got to switch something, whatever it is. And so I left, and I could have gone the same route. My brother sells cars to Mayweather. He's the one that sells Mayweather all his Bugattis.
Okay.
So you could go that route and be like the broker, or you could decide to open up your own dealership, or you could.
Well, you still kind of a broker too if you have your own dealership, because you have the dealership and you kind of selling cars at the same time.
Yeah, you can, but you're not necessarily independent. You're like a franchise.
Okay, I got it.
Because whatever captive, whether it's Ford or Chevy, you still have to follow their rules. It's their name at the top of
like
the
a
dealership.
franchise, you got to go by their. Yeah.
You got to go by their rules.
structure.
Yeah.
Well, the car dealership is going to be within the next 5 years or so.
Depleted.
Yeah.
It's gonna
You
be
can go
gone.
online.
Huh?
You can go online.
Well, it's the way it's going. I
Right.
think the way it's going.
It-
Gasoline is going to be no more. It's going to be electric energy, and
It's going to be electric,
Yeah.
autonomous.
Because everybody's
vehicles.
going to switch to electric, and then it's going to be
It's going to be not only electric, cars will be subscription based.
the Jetsons,
So you're no longer going to own a car. You're just going to pay a subscription.
like a cell phone,
like Amazon.
like your cell phone.
And
Like
the
you
car is
Never
gonna-
own your cell phone. You
the
pay a
car would
monthly note to lease it. Yeah.
It would not even lease it. You just pay a subscription. Whatever cars they have, you just say, "Hey, I want this car." Like you order an Uber, it's gonna drive up to your house, take it to wherever you're going. So imagine what that's going to change. Dealerships will be out of business. Files in all these places. The city of states will have to change their revenue model because you can't charge somebody for a ticket. You can't charge them for speeding. You
Right.
can't charge them for parking.
The tollway.
'Cause everything
what,
will be
Tollway.
regulated.
what are they going to do with the tollway?
Well, everything will be
Insurance
regulated,
companies, Huh? They will find a way, but there'll
Right,
be a
right.
lag. But within 5 years, dealerships will be the first.
Gone. Yeah.
They gone. They're gonna have to change. Gas stations will have to change. They have to change to the
Electrical
electric,
energy. Yeah.
which doesn't make that much money.
Cracker Barrel is ahead of the curve. Cracker Barrel got the plug-up station.
So it's gonna change a
Right.
lot of things. And
Right.
people, you see how I'm talking. You have to. This is how.
You got to get ahead of the curve.
But see,
You have
that's
to get
the
ahead.
plus that you have because your father instilled a certain mindset in you.
Yeah.
That's hereditary. That's that is your generational wealth. A lot of people don't have that.
That's
They-
true. It's also learned. You can
Right.
still.
I
Right.
was just gonna say that's not necessarily an excuse
Yeah.
because you can learn, especially
Right.
in today's society. Google teaches you everything.
Yes.
So people go to school
Google
for
and YouTube
business,
University.
and that's fine. You go to school, get your degree, all of that great stuff. But that traditional go to school, get a great job, that's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Like
dead.
Yeah.
to own a business, you're not gonna learn how to own a business at a university.
Right.
More than likely, your teacher hasn't owned a business theirself.
They're teaching you to be an employee.
They're teaching you to be an
Correct.
employee, even in your business class.
Unless you go to Ivy League.
Even
No,
if you
them
go to
too.
Ivy League,
They
Even
teach how to be
Those two,
entrepreneurs.
though.
Ivy League.
Those two, Ivy League,
Same
they're
thing.
teaching
The
you
only
how
benefit-
to. Yeah, it's still the same.
The benefit of going to an Ivy League is the connections that you're going to
Correct.
make.
Right.
That's
Correct.
it.
But it's
Like,
that's good in life, right? Because
Absolutely.
everything in life is about connection.
The
But are
way
you
it
gonna
is
pay
now,
$100,000
but
a
it's
year
not
to
going to be
meet some
good for
people?
the future.
Yeah. It's the same thing in business, right? So, okay, speaking of that, I'm glad you talk about.
knew I set myself
Yeah,
up for
I'm
that.
glad that we about to segue to that. I'm glad you said that. So, speaking of connections and speaking about universities and learning, you recently just went to this conference, this 10X conference.
I did.
10X.
10X. So,
Okay.
anybody,
Greg Cardone.
yeah. So anybody that don't know what 10X is, basically Grant Cardone, he's a
Billionaire.
and he throws this conference where a lot of people invest into his brand, where they make 10X times. Correct me if I'm saying it right. 10X times what The goal was for that year or something like that. I
10
forget how it
times.
was.
Well, that's not necessarily what the conference is.
Okay, tell me more.
The conference it's a conference where
Okay.
you come. So 10X in itself is a book. So it's a book that he wrote about 10X in your life in every aspect of your life, which is really, it's a great book, and it teaches you to do more. Like, you're not doing enough. Even if you think you are, you're not doing enough. You could do more. And he's very good and very strategic. That's
Okay.
what I like about him. The conference was just last month in Florida, and I loved it. Like, every part of it. Even with COVID, he went all
So tell me
out.
something. I know you can't tell me all the secrets because you gotta pay for that. But tell me some
free
key
stuff.
things that you can help the community out in. Just some.
So I'm going to tell you my nuggets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we were just talking about going to a university, what university you go to, and the cost and why you would go there to meet people, which kind of led to this. So he has different levels of tickets. Of course, you have a regular ticket,
Gold, platinum,
medium,
diamond,
gold,
all that. Yeah.
platinum, diamond, and they go, I think it was like from $100 to like $10,000.
Okay.
So depending upon what level you at, you get that ticket.
You get access.
You get
So they
access.
determine which tickets you get.
No, you
don't
can
know.
buy it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, whatever you want to spend, that's what you spend, and that's the section that you sit in.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't like to be in the back,
Come on.
so I got a
I
diamond
need you
ticket.
to know I'm
Oh,
here.
diamond. Okay, 10 grand. 10 grand.
No,
She
come
didn't
on.
say that.
I didn't
She
say
just
that.
said
You're right.
how
I'm
it
sorry.
goes.
I'm
She-
sorry. I'm
My girl
sorry.
just said she wasn't in the back.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
I said I got a
Count your
diamond ticket.
Right.
So
You got platinum and all of that. She
It
didn't say she was
was.
diamond.
it was well worth it. You have to know that the people that are here sitting with you, we all pay the same amount of money.
Okay.
Everybody said, unless you bought your ticket last year, you got a little discount, but it wasn't that much. But it's a different level. Like, the people that are sitting up here are working to do different things. They working to scale their business. They
Right.
probably have been to his conference. Like, there were people that had been there and it was their second and third time, and they had 10X, 40X, 100X
Wow.
their business.
Wow.
And
That's big.
I'm gonna just say, because this is a culturally distinct podcast.
Thank you.
It was a shame that it wasn't enough of us there.
Hmm.
Period. In the diamond section, in the platinum section, in the regular section,
In
it
the
was
section.
not enough of us there. And he even said it. Like, I would love to have more black people here. I don't know how to get them. He had another conference previously that Steve Harvey helped host, and he had Kevin Hart and all of that. And you had more black people at that because you had the quote unquote
The recognition.
entertainers. But it's not an entertainment conference, it's a business conference.
Yes.
So you have all of these people who say that they want to build a business and they want to do big things, but you're not willing to invest to learn more in your business. You ain't
Yes.
going nowhere.
So before you
playing.
go too deep into that, I have two-part question. You guys spoke on it. Can you break down what scaling your business is and then explain what the differences are with the X, whether it's 10, 20, 30? What does that mean? A 10X, 20X, 30X? But start with what scaling the business
So
is.
scaling your business is basically, for an easier term, is growing it.
Okay.
So you can have a business and make $100,000 or $1 million. Okay, great. You made $1 million. So what are you going to do with that $1 million to get more money?
Okay.
Like, what are you going to do with your business? What are your new targets? What are your new goals? What more actions are you going to take? Like, where are you going? You should be constantly thinking about growing your business ahead of time
Okay.
with the exit strategy. But you have to, if you're going to sell it, you got to give them something to sell. Like,
Right.
give them something
Something
to
to
buy.
want. Right.
Yes.
Right.
And then the 10X is numbers. So it's 100 to 1,000,
1,000%.
1,000 to
Right.
a
So
million.
it's like multiplication.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
the 40X, and it's really just, he's real big on knowing your numbers. And I think that that's something, as entrepreneurs, a lot of people tend to run from. They don't really know their numbers. And I could be honest, I didn't know my numbers. Not like he know them. The way that he was like, okay, well, what is this, that. I'm like, wait a minute, let me
Right.
write this down, because I'm not properly keeping my numbers like I should if I call myself going to $1 billion. Like, this is not what I should be doing. And at that conference, it's not just about Grant, but he has a lot of people come in that have businesses that are successful, that have went through different trials, that have picked themselves up. They give their real authentic story. Like, there was one lady that stood out for me. She was a billionaire. She created a Viagra pill for women. And the beautiful part about it is she sold it to, well, she had a point where she was trying to get her pill to be successful, and everybody just kept
Like a
denying her.
pill for women.
That's
women need
true.
Viagra.
Don't leave us out.
Viagra, the original Viagra pill that you know of was made for a woman originally. It was
What?
for a heart condition. It was made for women, and it got flipped, and then they did
I'm
turn
saying, why would
around.
a woman need to?
Because there's a such thing as menopause. There's
I got you.
hysterectomies. I need you to get into your science, my brother.
Well, you know.
I mean, educate yourself, my guy.
She called it the pink pill.
Right.
Okay.
So her pink pill, it went through a phase where the business, she thought it was going to die. And, you know, her team was very encouraging. They pushed her to do more. They went back. They got everything done. She sold it to a company for $1 billion, but they shelved it.
Okay.
So she went back to them and asked them for it back.
And she
Of
buy
course,
it back, yeah.
They didn't want to give it back to her, so she sued them. They had to give it back to her for free. So she kept the $1 million.
Billion
got
dollars.
the pill back. The $1
Billion?
billion. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
She kept the $1 billion, got the pill back for free, and is now about to bring it back to the market.
But that's scary money, though. That's that mob money. That's the money when they start coming
No.
after you. You start seeing people outside your door. You're like,
I don't know about that. I'm not
Something
scared
ain't
of
right
money.
with this.
Scared money don't make no money. Ain't that what they
so
say?
look.
Come on, Queen of the South.
Let's transition this to. So I know we talking about business and everything. Let's talk about business credit, because a lot of us don't even know what. First of all, a lot of us don't have personal credit. That's one.
Amen.
That's one. And then,
Amen.
Then, far as business credit, because I was listening to something. Me and my wife were listening to something earlier, and when you apply for business credit, it's ways you could apply strictly for business credit without them having a personal guarantor, which is yourself, right? So, express to us about business credit. What you guys know about business credit?
So with business credit, the main thing with when you own a business, your main thing is liability. So
Okay.
you in the climate we're in, anyone could sue you for anything. So you want a curtain of protection, starting with your entity. So if you're starting a business, you don't want to be a sole proprietor.
Okay.
Okay,
You don't want to be.
Not
you
at
don't
all.
want to be because you're liable for anything that happens.
I got you.
Okay,
Even with insurance?
Yep.
anything.
Okay.
Now that's why you create a LLC. You have to create something,
For protection.
yeah, for protection. So
Right.
that's what a LLC or a corporation, all that stuff is for. Once you have that, same thing with a credit. So with a credit, if you grow your business credit to where you could get it anything without you being the personal guarantor, that means even if you default on it, they're not going to come after you.
Correct.
Okay, so that's how you protect yourself.
And when you mean come after you, you're not gonna be collateral.
I'm not going to be liable.
Right.
That's how guys like Donald Trump could file bankruptcy 6 times and still
1,000
keep
times you
getting
still
rich.
have right $1 trillion.
So it's actually easy. You initially you're gonna have to personally guarantee. Okay, you apply for EIN number, which is free from the IRS. You apply for a DMB number, which is a Duns and Bradstreet number.
Yes.
Duns and Bradstreet is like a credit report, like your Equifax, but it's for business.
For business, correct.
Business only uses Duns and Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian, no TransUnion. So you apply for your DMB. Once you do that, then you're going to have 3 to 5 invoiced accounts. So
Trade lines.
Trade lines, thank you.
Trade lines, okay.
So you could-
Primaries.
Prime for the business. But these are trade lines that will invoice you.
So what is a trade line? Because a lot of people don't know what that is.
Trade line is like an account. So let me
Like
give you an
Uline, if you
Yeah,
buy
like
stuff from
Uline.
Uline, the people that
Granger.
you go and buy things from.
Yeah, Granger.
You want to get it
Business.
invoiced to you.
invoice though, but an invoice is a net. If it's net 30, that means you have 30 days to pay it
30.
back, or net 60.
Yes.
So when you get 3 or 5 of those for about 90 days, you then go and get a credit card for like a Home Depot or a Shell gas card
In the business.
in the business name. If you have to, it's easy to get a car. So you could go buy a car or finance a car and you guarantee with the business. So those are the way you build. You continually keep building like that until a point where you don't put anything in your personal name.
Yep.
Okay.
Lease the car.
Goes-
Don't finance it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
Yeah, lease the car.
Lease it.
Lisa, yeah.
On the business side.
Yes, so
on
you
the
can write it
business.
off.
Right.
Okay.
So these are strategies, as far as business credit, and they could go on websites like nav.com. There are a lot of places you could go and it just breaks it down.
If I can add, one of the things about business credit that you have to make sure is that everything is in alignment. So if your business if you say that you have a home business, then it needs to be listed at whatever home, and you keep that address consistent. Because when people start looking at your credit report, you can't have 3 and 4 addresses on your report, because then you're going to be denied.
Right.
If you have an actual business, then that business shouldn't move unless you, not every day, or you shouldn't have all of these different things. And invest in more than one company. So when you said how Donald Trump and all of them still considered millionaires, billionaires, all that good stuff, because they have hundreds and hundreds of companies. Mark Cuban has over 500 companies. Donald Trump has 400 or 500 companies. So when, for example, right now, the whole PPP, EIDL, the reason they got so much money is because every company can be financed.
Right.
Right.
So that allowed them to say, yep, this one needs $1 million. That one needs $1 million. That one needs $1 million.
They all need something.
They all need something. So I tell my friends, instead of buying your kids all these presents and stuff for Christmas, buy them a corporation and grow it.
So a corporation, when you say
A LLC.
LLC, okay.
A LLC. Buy them an LLC.
Limited liability,
You get
okay.
a little, start the trade line, get a little credit card on it, and just let it grow. By the time they 18, if they decide to be an entrepreneur, they have an entire business with credit, they ready to go. That is one of the best gifts you can ever give your kids.
And then they're not liable if if they mess up, if they go bankrupt
Bankrupted and get another one.
and get
So I
another
just
one.
saw somebody the other day was like, you starting a business, make sure your children are one of your employees. Just
Absolutely.
make sure you are putting them on these dockets. and getting
$11,000.
things for them. There you go.
Easy.
Every single year.
Easy.
So let me ask you guys this. Since we at the table and we talking business, let's talk about business opportunities. How many business opportunities that you guys are willing to give us on the show? Because I'm willing to.
What do you mean?
No, we're not gonna. I'm saying like
For
opportunities.
you personally,
No, just for people out there that want to call in and say, you know what, I want to invest.
you have no call-in,
Like
sir.
say for instance, like we're not calling in.
much.
It's not a radio
You
station.
don't
I'm
have
sorry.
the people calling, don't get
Right.
anybody.
I'm like, who is this man calling me, man?
No call-in, sir.
I'm saying like when you guys give you
Hey,
guys,
you got the call. You guys 2 on line 1.
no, I'm saying like opportunity that you guys have.
Put it out there, bro. They're gonna be calling
Coming
us
up.
soon.
Right.
That's funny.
What opportunities do you guys come across on a daily basis? Because I know people come to you guys all the time since you guys have businesses, and they always have something to say. Okay,
What are you
man,
willing to
you need
share?
to say, hey, I want you to invest in this, man. This is gonna go.
It varies. So, first of all, you have to know where your threshold is. As far as for the masses, if you're looking for something to do, so it's easy things you can make money. Leveraging technology now. Airbnb is big. You could Airbnb a public apartment.
Okay, like a sublease.
Yeah, sublease.
Sublease, yeah.
And you can use your LLC. Okay. And a quick trick with LLCs, instead of switching addresses, you go get a P.O. box.
Right.
Okay.
Use that. Yeah.
But don't use the P.O. box. So if it's P.O. box
An actual
525,
address.
use the address of where the P.O. box is, and then the P.O. box number, just change it to be a suite number. So if the P.O. box is at 5000 Westheimer,
Right.
just put your business address as 5000 Westheimer.
Sweet,
Sweet.
whatever your
So
P.O. box
200
is.
or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
And that way you never change your address, and that would be a business address. Other businesses you could own, Turo, you could rent your car. I'm saying things you don't need to cough up money.
A lot of
once
money.
you start.
Yeah. Turo. Well,
Use what you got.
you guys got to Google Turo.
Players
We're not gonna go into
Club
Turo.
Turo.
Yeah.
Players Club 101.
My NEMT company. I started that company with less than $700.
Okay.
That's net revenue is almost 1.5 million.
And you said the NTN.
NEMT, non-emergency transportation.
Okay.
And all I did was use the same idea of Uber and applied it to
Home health.
not home health, to transportation, medical
Just people
transportation.
needing appointments.
I
They
got
got to
you.
go to the,
But
kind
I-
of like what you do with Medicaid and Medicare. Because I
Correct.
work in the industry, a lot of people use those, and there's a lot of private people who transport people to non-emergency medical appointments, but they have to go.
But I
And-
skipped
right.
Medicaid and
Right.
Medicare because they don't pay a lot, and I went
Right.
straight to the facilities
You got a contract with it.
and
The
got
group
contracts with them.
homes,
I got you.
RTCs, that type of thing.
But what I didn't, because everybody in that industry buys the vehicles. I just didn't buy a vehicle, and I just hired independent contractors like Ubers.
To pick them up.
But I made it's like a line. I just pushed it to the line to where you're not my employee, but I want you to do all this other stuff,
What I say?
and I'll pay you more than what Uber pays you.
Because you didn't want the
The taxes.
I didn't want all the taxes. I didn't want to have to deal with
all that,
employees.
the paperwork and all that
But
stuff.
more
Yeah.
importantly is the scaling. Because now I was able to, instead of, because if I did the traditional thing, that means I would have to start with one van, and I
Right.
can only service around Houston.
Right.
Yeah.
And I took
Gas,
that-
service.
Yeah, I took that away. I don't have no overhead.
Correct.
And I was able to scale from Houston, Pasadena, Beaumont, Victoria, Corpus Christi, Brownsville, McAllen.
Come on.
We're going to Dallas. We're going to Miami. We're going to Puerto Rico.
So you was just doing it not digitally, but you was doing it to where you didn't have to use your own vehicle.
I still, yeah.
Everybody's using their own, but you just pay them a little more,
A little more.
which will save a lot of money in the end.
Get what you want.
And these things are off of when you say opportunities. When you say opportunities, this was off of a business lunch, of me discussing with an individual about his company. He was a VP at the company. It's a health company, and he was just complaining about, the issues he had. So that's where you have to train your mind, because I'm always listening for opportunity. And I just told him, yeah, I'll do it. And he's like, you sure? Oh, yeah, I could do it. And, you have to go back and then figure out how to do it and then put it together, because that's the toughest part, is finding somebody who's willing to pay you.
Right.
The solution gonna come.
Right.
So if you find someone who's gonna pay you for something,
For a service,
give me your money. I'm gonna figure it out.
Come on.
Right.
And then we're gonna work through it, because there was some hiccups.
Because money moves people.
It moves people, and when you're bought in and he's bought in, the other side is bought in, they have more patience with you. They would tell you, because I asked him, hey, give me feedback. I know there's gonna be hiccups, but give me feedback as we grow.
Okay.
And all of that, and I turn around and I take care of him too.
Because you're a solution to his problem.
His problem.
But you're a person who looks at the problem and you come to the problem with a solution. That's what a lot of people don't realize. You have to have a solution when you're facing the problem.
You have to have a
And
solution.
it works.
But you're looking at from what you're saying though. You look at the problem from the other end of it.
Correct. You look at and when it comes to scalability, when you're a business owner, you have to stay out of the weeds. A lot of business owners, they start a business and then they want to be in the day-to-day in doing every single thing.
Right.
Well, you can't do that, because the head of major companies, whether it be Warren Buffett, all these big guys, they don't do much shit. Why? Because they're high-level thinkers. They have to think of where
The business is going.
the business is going.
Right.
Jeff Bezos used to say his team will come congratulate him and say, "Oh man, your stock is doing well. We hit it this quarter," and he would get mad. And he's like, "The stock hitting it now, that's work we did 3 years ago.
Correct.
Right.
That's just manifesting now.
Right.
So what we have to do,
Maintain and
the work we're doing now, is going to show up 3 years from now.
Right.
So as a CEO or head of your company, the way you grow, because it's not given to you. Your employees, you give it to them.
It's like a coach.
You do this.
You got to have patience.
You got to have patience. You have to be able to think and see,
You gotta have the vision.
the vision.
Yes.
That's
the
your biggest
vision.
job.
That's the hardest thing
That's
for a
your
lot of
biggest
people
job.
It's
is
the
to
hardest.
manifest, to have that vision, and to have patience.
And as the head, every decision you make is big impact. So you shouldn't be making too many decisions.
Right.
So speaking of that vision, you said a keyword about vision. So when you go into business with somebody and you have the vision, but the other person doesn't have the vision, but you have the refunds. I mean refunds. They have the resources, but they don't have the vision. How do you manage that? Say, for instance, we go in business together, and I have the resources, but you have the vision for the company. The company is moving forward, and like you said, 3 years down the line, it's going to be successful. But
How
now
you
we're
bring
looking
it
for the next
together?
3 years.
So I actually am very present to that situation.
Okay.
There's called a silent partner.
Okay.
Like you don't have the vision, you don't have an opinion.
You just had the money.
You just got the money.
Yeah,
And trust me.
And trust me, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna make it happen, and that's it. Like everything else, if you come up with an idea, yeah, I'll listen, but it's my vision,
Okay.
and we're gonna make this happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just an investor.
right.
And as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure when you do your contracts with your investors that you have that right. Like the investor shouldn't hold more of your
Creative
company than you do
autonomy.
because
got
you're
you.
not.
So it's like a 51-49 type deal.
Yeah, because you're not a business owner. You're really an employee.
Employee, right? But you know what?
Creative autonomy.
I read
Everybody-
something
Yeah.
the other
You
day.
have to be able to sell that.
A girl said this.
Give you their money.
I was listening to her. She said that, like to what you said earlier, when you have a business and you work in that business day in, day out, you're really an employee.
A glorified employee.
Mm-hmm.
You're either, it's even though it's your business, but you're working in the day in and day out. You don't have time. You 12 hours, 13 hours a day.
That's where the scaling and the delegating comes
Right.
in. Like you have to create the systems so you don't have to do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So if you have the systems in place and you have the proper employees, like when we were just listening to you guys, one of my favorite books is Robert Kiyosaki, Why A Students Work for C Students.
That's the same
ones.
guy who Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
So the A students, they smart. They gonna go out and get everything done. The C students gonna figure out a way to not have to do
Right.
all
That's
of that.
me.
Right.
It's my
Yeah.
lazy people.
I'm
It's
not doing
lazy.
none of that.
It's the knowing
I'm
what
not going
to
to
do
class.
versus the knowing how to do.
Exactly.
And that happens in a lot of arenas. We used to say that in the medical field. You have like your techs, your nurses, your doctors. The doctors know the why. The doctors know the why. The nurses know the how, but the people under them are the do. So it's always a process. It's a trickle down effect.
And
I'm
you
not-
don't want to do
right.
everything.
And I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying that. You know, your kids. If your kids are A students, let them be A students. But I
It's
look.
an analogy.
I graduated from college and I didn't read one book. So I'm just letting y'all know.
It's an analogy.
Even though I was an athlete, look.
And y'all
I didn't-
should know Nelson.
I didn't
by
read
now.
one
Don't-
book,
don't
and I
follow
graduated.
That. Don't follow this.
on
mouth.
the dean's list.
On the
On the dean's
He
list,
graduated
too.
in
Oh, my
TR.
goodness.
So anyway,
That's hilarious. You say you can vouch for that?
C student, man. Hey, C student. Hey, I got it. I got that paper.
I mean, but they come with the vision. They come with the wherewithal to figure it out.
Right.
The A student just wants to be perfect.
Right.
So you don't have to know how to do everything. You just need to know a little bit about everything in your vision and find the people who are passionate about getting it done.
That's right.
So let me ask you guys this: Are we talking about business? We talking about family. Now let's talk about legacy, right? Now a big thing that we don't talk about also in our community is life insurance.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I know you guys know about a lot about life insurance. You know, me and my wife, you know, we've been investing in life insurance, and you know, when we die, we gonna have everybody gonna be set up.
It's such a key word, investing
Right.
in life insurance.
So
Because a lot of
It
people
is
don't
a-
even have it.
Yeah.
They don't even know what
And
it
they
is.
don't know that it's actually an investment.
could you
It
guys
is.
expound on that on life insurance?
From term, whole life,
Whole life here.
they
So
have no idea.
if you're between the ages of 20 and 50, you could start off with a term life, okay? Because you're still going to be working, you're still going to be hustling. So if you die, boom, it's going to pay off. And why I say that, because that usually lasts for about 20 years,
Okay.
okay? But it's cheap. You get $1 million term life for $30 a month.
Yeah.
A month. So once you get that, as you're approaching your 30s and you're more stable financially, then you should move into a whole life or a universal life. And what that is, because with term life, that money is not coming back. It's gone.
Correct.
You pay monthly, it's gone. It's not coming back. With whole life or UI, there's a cash option, so it's an investment. You could it's more expensive, but as you put it in, you could actually decide to take a loan against that, or you
Right.
could cash out early, or you could,
Tax free, right?
tax free. That's correct.
Tax free.
That's absolutely correct. So that's important because that is the number one way to build wealth. which we
Absolutely.
don't do.
And do it for your kids.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Put a policy on your kids, and then who knows? You started in time. You can pull it when it's time for them to go to college,
Right.
or whatever they want to do. You
Right.
have that money built up for them to be able to say, "Hey, I'm gonna pull this much, and I'm gonna leave this, and let it continue to build." I think a lot of people in our culture, they don't like to talk about life insurance because it equals death to them.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has to die.
Yep.
Right.
Like, it's inevitable. You're gonna die.
Correct.
Well, That's how it's supposed to be. But with all this technology, we don't really know about that in the future. They creating
We
stuff
might-
around
Don't
here.
take these people too fast, girl.
I mean, I seen some stuff that was like, wow, like
Right.
I got to get my bag up because I might
Right.
not have
I
to
wanna
leave
be
here.
there. Right. Cocoon.
Man, it's like plant me.
I watch too many movies.
Right.
I'm talking
Say plant me.
about life
Okay,
after,
we gotta
man.
talk about that off camera. Hold
It's
on.
about cocoons.
Hold on. She
Save
say
me,
plant.
preserve
She
me
didn't
to
even say put her in the cocoon,
2055.
Adam. She say plant her. She gonna put her in my
I've seen
yard.
some very interesting things that people are doing to live longer. But
Artificial parts.
the regular is everybody
Clones.
has
What
to
we
die.
Everybody will
every
die,
day.
Yeah, everybody
Right.
will die. So you have to have something there. So it's not a conversation that you should run from. It's a conversation that you should look at like, hey, this is an investment. If it's $30, like you're spending $30 at
You drink that
Yeah.
in one drink.
Easy.
one.
Depending on where you are.
Say
you
48, you
drink
drinking that.
$30.
You are definitely drinking that.
At 13.
Don't period. It's supposed
You're
to
drinking
You
be.
drinking one drink is $30.
Yes.
But no, that's a mindset though, because a lot of us, like you said, we go to these high end places and pay these high end bills. Because I know my drinking bill, I can't
Come on.
explain it.
Make it plain,
But
Pastor.
for an easy 30, like you said, $30,
Right.
$20 a month,
Invest in yourself.
you could get an easy 500 grand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's $1 million. You get $1 million.
You know what I mean? But
You
a lot of
gonna have
people don't know
to
that.
do a GoFundMe when they want to do a GoFundMe
ahead.
for you when you
So
close
how can
your
we?
eyes.
So my thing is,
Not
this
put
is
me
my
on a
thing.
t-shirt.
So I was blessed to have people around me, and have a circle of people that's knowledgeable to understand business. Right? How can we not change the mindset of people, but trying to alter the mindset of people in our community? Because I heard something that Jay-Z said, and Dame Dash said it. They said, if you're the only person in your circle that's successful, that's not considered as success.
That's not a success.
You're not rich.
Everybody around you has just as much as you do. Now you're successful. Because now I can lean on somebody and say, okay,
But you
man.
have to educate them. But the thing is, learning how to educate them in the language that they understand.
Correct.
Everybody doesn't speak the same language. That's the problem.
So how can we alter
So,
it?
like some of this conversation we're having, there are gonna be some people who gonna click on this. Oh, that ain't talking about nothing because we're not talking about what's going on with Offset and Cardi. Who them people? Them what's the girl name? Sweetest Cakes, whatever. But we are. But
Sweetest
what
Cakes.
we're talking
That's
about
Little
is
Debbie, ain't it?
above these people's heads. So you have to learn how to reach the people where they are, and that's the thing, though.
that's
It's
the
just
thing.
education, but educating them where they are.
I think there's a trend right now with financial literacy, which is good, and
For black people.
black people that
Yeah.
they need to catch up.
Most of that Gucci.
Because
Yeah, get it.
there's so much especially for black people. Black people here can leverage Africa. There's a shitload of money in Africa that people do not know.
Be talking to you after the show.
Come on.
Not
Where
just
we going,
Africa.
Zareen?
Everywhere. It's a lot of money out here,
There's
man.
a lot of money. There's
It
more
is.
It's
money-
crazy.
There's more money than people.
It's crazy.
And
Planet
people.
Earth.
And who?
Than people.
Come on.
We just have to go take it because it's paper. They print it.
And they want to give it to you.
And they want to get you just
Gotta
have to
know how to ask for
how
it.
to go get it. So
Who got my money?
once we change, because
Run me
once
my
we change our mindset,
Yes.
it's huge. And I'll give you an example. A downtrodden people, the Jewish people, when they
Yeah.
came to the United States, there were less than 1 million of them.
Right.
There's really a few 100,000 of them. Okay, and they started the Jewish Fund.
And they run shit.
Not only did they run shit, they were able to buy land under the nose of the Palestinians, which is now the country. They bought back Israel,
Which is now the Pakistan's, right?
Palestine.
Palestine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a state of Israel.
Right.
Not only did they do that, they're less than 6 million Jews right now in the United States. And they are the most powerful, not whites. A lot of white people you see are
Yeah,
actually
Jewish.
Jewish.
Say that again.
Not white.
But
Je-
what?
Jewish.
They
Jewish.
powerful.
They're the ones ruling the country. Schumer is Jewish. Nancy Pelosi is Jewish. Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish.
Yeah.
All of these people are Jewish, and they're the most powerful people.
But I have a kickback to that.
What's the kickback?
Because they was granted what they call what's quote unquote reparations.
No.
They got that.
No,
Doesn't
the
matter.
Jews-
And
when
then-
the Jews got here, they didn't have anything. They worked
Right.
the lowliest job. Every industry that they now own, well, the industries they had to work,
Real
the
estate.
textile industry.
Right.
They
Textiles.
were working
right.
in the factories. I'm talking.
But
the
they had the
shittiest.
diamonds. How did they
Ron,
get all the
how
diamonds?
No.
Can I comment
There
on
would be
your
no Hollywood
reparations
without them.
comment? So the whole reparations thing, okay, fine. But I think our people need to stop looking for a handout.
Correct.
Well, you
Like, I get it. Slavery was here. It was horrible. And it's still a lot of racism present today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the way that we combat that is to get your bag up.
true,
And black people waste a lot of money.
true.
They do.
They like to look rich
Yes.
versus
Right.
actually being rich.
Mm.
Right.
Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and all the rest of them don't put no money back into our community.
Right.
Why do you go to their store and spend all your damn money, your last check, just to look like
Your stimulus.
or your stimulus?
supposed to
Like
help
you
you
know,
pay
I
you
didn't
your
get that
rent.
stimmy, man. I ain't got my
I
stimmy,
didn't
man.
get it either.
Because you fake like this.
You're
bag,
exactly
okay?
right. Okay, but I say this because you have to understand where someone is coming from. So I don't really fault black people for spending because psychologically, especially African Americans here, it's trauma. It's a lot of trauma.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
will take time to get past that phase because that makes them feel good. Because I've locked you up for how many months? You ain't got nothing.
400 years.
400 years.
And
You
now
come
I'm
out,
free.
You want to feel good. You want to. So it's more of a
It
psychological
is.
thing that
It is.
will take a while to overcome.
And the kids now, I think the kids now are
They're
understanding.
getting smarter.
They're understanding now.
And once they get to that point, to kick back to what you said, because once we get our money, I wholly believe, if we follow the same blueprint, because it worked with the Jews, and we did the same group economics,
Yes.
where what they did,
Yes.
as poor as they were at that time, all they did was 5% of their monthly income they would put into the fund, and over time, they were able to accomplish all of that.
It's
and
the
what
education.
But I think we
though.
was doing that
education.
though.
The education.
Like
just
we
have
was
to
doing it,
teach.
like say for instance in
We were
Chicago,
doing it.
in Oklahoma.
How long
doing
ago
it.
was that, Adam?
But in 1930s. But the thing
Right,
is, every
right.
time, I hate to cut you off, but every time we try to get together, unify, and build something together, what happened?
We got okey doke. So
Right.
when they did the civil rights, we got okey doke, and they made us give that up because they saw the trajectory of where
They
we're
saw the
going.
power.
Now we still have that power. There's 45 million of us. Even if half of us, let's say a quarter of us, decide to put our minds together and actually do this, because think about it: when you have money, okay, you then have the power to lobby the government. Because black people keep talking about create laws for us. We don't have no money to bring to the table,
Right.
so they don't care about you. But when you
Correct.
have power and money, you could lobby and say, hey, I want this, I want that, I want that.
Like the LGBTQ,
Or whatever group,
Yeah.
any group that you see laws being made,
they got that.
they have that money behind
They have
them.
leverage.
So this is something we need to, it'll take a while. We talk about it a lot, but it will take a lot of us to get to it. But we have to get past that phase of, I just got some money.
Uncertainty and fear is paralyzing.
It's probably not only that, like when you win the lottery, what you do first is you go blow some money because you never
Of
had it.
course. You gotta do
So-
some bald head hoe shit. I'm gonna do some bald head hoe shit. I'm gonna drink some Dom.
That's what black people are going through right now.
Right.
We're starting to get money, so I don't really
But
criticize.
we don't even
them.
have any money. That's the thing. We don't realize
that ain't no
they
money.
throwing nothing
Correct.
at you. And that's
I
why
don't
I
know.
always
A lot of
concentrate
us,
on
they'll make
just
the
like
money.
the education. So you
lot
have
of-
to catch. So like how they tell
We
you,
not making
you have to
billions.
pray harder when things are going well. It's the same premise. You have to catch people when they're okay. After the pandemic and everybody's starting to settle out, you have to catch people and educate them in that sweet spot because you
Right.
can't. No one's gonna hear anything during crisis.
That's
They're
true.
not going to hear it when they're panicking, when they're trying to get to something else. So you have to catch them in their sweet spot. And you have to catch the right people at the right time who are going to carry out the mission. It's pretty
Yeah.
much what it is.
And
You
it'll
got to
take-
change their mindset.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest part.
Absolutely.
And I
From
think with-
the crabs in the bucket to I don't want
gotta
you to
kick the
have
bucket
more
over.
than me.
You got to
Yeah.
kick
All
the
of that
bucket
stuff.
over.
Like there needs to be some real live unity, and we can do more together.
Because I asked,
Oh
when
my
did we
God.
get to that? Like,
And I
when did
think
the
we're doing more.
crossover happen? Because
Let me tell
Nanny
you.
Pugh, she said in the 60s, they had to unify and stop going to work as
Correct.
a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We are reliving the 60s technically, but
No.
we don't all have that same mindset to to not show up for work, to not do certain things because you're paralyzed by the fear of the unknown.
you're making too much
paralyzed about that too, but you have a lot of people that's going to say, okay, once I strike and I don't go to work, who's going to pay my bills? I have a family. Back then, they didn't have a choice but to unify and mobilize. So it's like you have some things that have been given to you to make you comfortable that makes you afraid of their unification and the mobilization.
Right.
So
And what the smart thing they did was back in the 60s, there was a clear and present danger. That was racism. It's in your face.
And it's still here. But
It's still here.
it's a but. They didn't have a but then. We have a but now.
So now that we have a but.
Because we live in the burbs.
Yeah, exactly. So you feel like there's no clear and present danger.
Right.
And we have been disorganized, broken up. And that serves the other party. So until we realize, okay, there's still a clear present danger, and we need to unify. Because imagine this, when African Americans here unify,
It's
it
powerful.
is extremely powerful because
That gave me
then
chills.
you unify with Africa. Think about this. The Western world was not the most powerful. When they became powerful is when they realized they had to get the resources from both Africa and Asia. And that's where they start pillaging for gold and all these metals and all that stuff.
Right.
Until you know your power, Africa has no natural disasters, but has every natural resource. And yet, we are the most impoverished,
Yeah.
and yet we have wars. And you ask yourself, how did these impoverished nations, you see a
fighting against each other.
kid, not only fighting against each other, think about this. They're fighting against each other, and they have kids with AK-47. You know how much of AK-47 is?
Right. Where they coming from? Right.
Where are these coming from?
Right.
Never.
That's true.
The richest country on planet Earth is the Democratic Republic of Congo, rich in natural resources. And that country has been in civil war for the last 40 years.
Civil.
Or land. Oh, it's civil for
Civil
for the
war.
resources of the land. Okay.
So you ask yourself, how are these people affording
To get these
to be fighting a war this long?
right, and
You
they
ask
poor.
yourself.
Yeah. Well, we know it. We know. That's a whole nother podcast. You know.
That's a whole.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna
that's-
be back. Don't
that's
worry
it.
about it.
That's a whole another.
I'm gonna get
Right. This will be
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna get
to be continued.
I'm gonna get another brother here that's in African politics. And we could talk about that. So
Oh, that's a.
yeah. So guys, look, I want you guys to tell the people exactly where they could find you guys if they want to talk about business or if they want to just get information. I know you guys might charge, whatever. It's up to y'all. You know, starting with
If
you,
it's
Zarina.
worth it.
Yeah, if it's worth it.
Come
Yeah.
on.
That part.
My
So give me your
time's not free
Instagram,
at
your website, and all that stuff.
My shit expensive. Cardi B said it best.
So my Instagram is I am MZ Whitfield, and you can reach me on there. Send me a direct message, and then all of my business pages are on that page. So you got Kodak Canna, you got Global Women of Wealth, you have Body Me, and you have Hit 'em.
Okay, Mike.
My Instagram is the real Mike Morris. That's the only one I remember.
The real one.
The real one. There's a bunch of Mike Morrises.
Right.
You'd be surprised. But the real Mike Morris. Yeah, hit me up. I will freely impart my whatever
Knowledge.
Yeah. I think that's. I know.
I'm not giving it up.
So, guys, I want you guys to hit these guys up for sure. You know, I don't know if Mike knew it yet, but me and Mike about to start a Morris Brown,
Morris Brown. What?
Morris Business Academy. We about to start that. So look,
all right.
Did you say Morris Brown?
no, Morris Business Academy.
He drunk.
Morris Brown. Shout out to Atlanta. Nah,
He gonna start a
I said
school.
Morris Brown, man. What were you
Right.
thinking about?
Bro, you starting a school.
Anyway, hey, I might.
You cannot be
speak
the
that
teacher.
thing. Hey,
You
I speak
cannot
that-
be the teacher
I'm gonna be
because
the
you
owner.
had C's.
I'm gonna be the president of that thing.
You told us you made C's. You will not be the educator.
First day
You will not
orientation.
be the
Look, first day orientation. I made all C's, and I'm the president of this university. Check me out.
What you know about that?
Right, you know what I
Tell
mean?
a friend to tell a friend.
So guys, look, this is the Culturally Distinct Podcast. It's your boy DJ KO.
K Jack is always in the building.
Thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Educate yourself. Empower your people. This is us. You guys have a beautiful day. Peace.
Peace.